They tell me I'm not Wonder Woman or anyone associated. But no, like I said, the thing kind of, it wasn't, it could have had fur, but it doesn't have fur. That's why people, I feel like that's why they call the white ones angels and they call the black ones demons, but it's not. Bob Dub asked, did this all happen to you, Roger? You're gonna have to tell her that the stories or share it. But I'm putting the spelling words on right now. And it's just crazy to me because, and truth be told, like, there's no way to really describe them. There's really no way for you to actually see them unless you actually see them. And to see them, you're going to have to, like, sit down, talk to them. And then once they do that, they take on their actual form of who they are, who they were, what they represent. And so they no longer become like a blob or just a blur or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Why isn't no one taking the trash out?
No. The last incident occurred in August of 2013, more than 15 years after the first incident. I'm not.
You said 2013?
2013.
Okay.
And it says, I'm not a kid anymore, and it's been a long time since this black cloak hooded entity visited me, but I think it still remembers me, and this is why it came back to see me. I could hear the ghost making the same sound, ooh, hoo, hoo, woo, just like the first incident back in 1997 when I was a kid. This time, however, I could also feel that I could also feel what I believe to be two hands shaking on my blanket very fast, and I could hear the sound of chain rattling as if both the entity's arms were wrapped in chain. It's as if this entity was once a prisoner or something and had been executed, which would explain the chain. And I could also smell the same rancid smell of a dead body, like the second incident in 1998. Again, I was able to open my eyes and I wasn't very scared, but I saw something that looked like the transparent black cloaked hood entity floating in mid-air with no legs, no arms, and no face. To my surprise, it was much smaller than what I expected. I was expecting to see it standing next to me. I was expecting to see it standing next to my bed and looking larger than normal human size, but it looked smaller and moved freely in midair. I think this was the first time I was able to see this entity much clearer than before. It seemed to me that this black cloak ghost or entity was not as threatening or evil as I expected it to be. I don't know if it is evil or not, but it was not threatening, yet at the same time could be frightening too. So, right there, I don't know, that sounds more like a ghost than it does like a shadow person, you know, because he's actually seeing it and describing it. So,
what do you think is the major difference between like what a ghost would be or anything of that sort?
It was like mostly they're classified as a demonic presence is usually an entity that isn't earthborn. That means it's never born on the earth, and a ghost is an earthborn spirit. Okay, and the difference between a spirit and a demon is that demons don't have a spirit; they don't have a soul. They're just an evil presence, according to demonologists. So then you have the shadow people, which even to paranormal, they're phenomena. You know what I'm saying? They're hard to explain by them too. They've been reported and they've been spotted even in a few instances, but nobody's been able to really get much information off of them. So They could
So
be.
when people are possessed,
Yeah.
no, I
Possession.
was just
See, that's
saying,
demonic.
supposedly, right? But demons
Right.
don't have souls. So are they possessing the soul of the person? So does that make the soul not powerful enough to fight?
Over.
Because it
Yeah.
gives life, but it gives it life. And in order to have life, you have to have a soul.
See,
So
there's a process too, according to them. Like, they just can't possess you. They have to tempt you in stages to where you basically just give up your body to these evil spirits or evil demons. So after you've succumbed to them, then they enter your body and they take over. They take possession of you, and that's a demonic possession. So it's pretty interesting.
well, that makes more sense to me than in regards to that.
Yeah. And like I said, this is just stuff I've learned. I've never had any dealings with demonic possessions or anything like that. But this is all the stuff that I've learned from it. So, I mean,
Well, I never knew there was such thing as demonologists. Like I can imagine I want to see what year that this started happening, to where it was something to that people felt like they had to study. Because from my understanding it's just basically a powerful versus a powerless being. And if that's the case, then all these people creating these chips in your brain and stuff where they're going to control you, that's possession. That's possession. Like, so they're the demons then. I mean, like, if we're being fair about it, because it means you're being controlled by something outside of you, an outside force coming within you and controlling your body, controlling your action. I just confused as to how that wouldn't be demonic, in which case, if that's what a demon is. Because from what I know, lower light, higher light, lower light, it wouldn't make sense for something.
So it's like, you know how we do history, right? Now, I learned something about demons too. Like, the whole demon thing being evil, that's not really the whole story either, because like vilifying demons didn't happen really until like after the Jewish beliefs and the Christian beliefs and Buddha and all that, because like the Assyrians believed in demons, the Sumerians, the Babylonians, all of them.
The Egyptians.
Yeah, the Egyptians, and there were good demons and there were bad demons. You know, so
alphas and omegas, yes, like the ones that'll get down there and do the gritty, and the ones that would not. Just like how we talk about God and Lucifer, but they think that those are two separate entities when God is literally Lucifer and Lucifer is a rendition of God. It's the same thing. It's literally Lucifer being the alpha and God being the omega. And that's why God says, quote unquote, in the Bible that everyone loves to reference, I am the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. Like, okay, so if nothing ever ends and it's just a continuation, I'm the beginning again. And then if you're talking about vibrating on a lower frequency, like God, and I know this sounds crazy, but I had this conversation with direct energy sources in order for me to understand, because we live in fear, and my goal is to eliminate that fear and allow people to present themselves in the light in which we are destined, designed to create as well with staying in. So if I was weak. So if I was weak, then I created a separate self outside of myself. This is from God now. This is straight source. That's how I say, oh, well, Jesus is a middleman. And that kind of caused a little stir today. But it's the truth, because I spoke to Jesus. Jesus admits to only being a prophet. Nothing magical, nothing mystical, us having the same capabilities, healing powers. We do have these healing powers. We disassociate with them, because if we tell everyone they have these healing powers, how can I make money because you come to my church and I offer you these healing powers? But these are the things that people, they it's like whisper down the lane. The story's been passed down the lane, and so that it's trickled down, watered down, watered down. Now all of a sudden, this demon is possessing this person. I have to give money to this priest in order for them to be exorcised. And I know I'm like cut and dry type thing, and it's way more extensive than that. But like, got to shoot both.
Yeah, he's got to head out. That's Wells talk. That's how they talk over there across the pond. Got to shoot. Glad you're here, John. Thanks for being here.
I thought he was talking about the demons and the angels versus the angels. It's like, shoot, both of them. I don't know, where does that leave you as an entity? But
he's got to go. He said it wasn't shoot. Glad you were here, John. Thanks for being here.
Yes. And I just saw what you wrote in the Joe, so thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning into our interviews and stuff. And yeah, no, but if it's just a matter of you having, like I said, devil and God is the same exact entity. There was no such thing as angels. It was just energy. We created these in order for them to be able to be more real to us. We had to, you know what I mean, be able to see it and understand it. Like, we didn't understand it, so we created it based off of what was passed down to us per our own comprehension. But like, that's why allegedly the devil, which there's no, I cannot stand saying that word, like the devil does not exist. Like, there's no such thing as the devil. It's literally lower level energy, and it's you are not you, but we are our devil. We are the devil that we fear is us at our lowest level of energy, and then the God that we are told to be disassociated from is us at our highest extent of creator, and our ability to be able to be a creator and to master our abilities without having to give into the world. No one that is only able to withstand with worldly possession is going to be able to exercise or access their omega state. They'll vibrate somewhere in the middle, but they're not going to vibrate at their highest because they're unable to disassociate with that which keeps them bound. You have to be willing to accept life and death as being one in order for you to have a continuation of life. You don't need a chip that you are downloading a new body. You really literally have to just focus your mindset, and people are dying constantly, so in order for it to appear more real, but at the same time sacrifices are necessary. But whom do you think that people are sacrificing to? What quote unquote beast do you think they're feeding? You always say that, we're in the belly of the beast, we're in the belly of the beast. What is this belly of the beast? What is this beast? Are we talking about Baphomet? And then who is Baphomet? Who created Baphomet? Where does this come from? These type of things
and see,
are stuff that
actually, like Baphomet. All right, Baphomet is kind of a good example of what I'm talking about. They vilified Baphomet because Baphomet was originally a pagan entity or deity that the Christians ended up vilifying and creating the Baphomet demon. So that's kind of the thing about it, you know what I mean? It's
and
like,
why do you think they had to create it like that? Like, what makes you, why do you think that it was necessary for him to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For him to be vilified? Like, what kind of, like,
it
what
was
do you think he was doing?
It was basically a power struggle. It had nothing to do with spirituality or anything. It was just a matter of trying to get more people converted over to Christianity from paganism. You know, that's what.
Wouldn't that make them the villains? Wouldn't that make me a villain? And if I was manipulating you into believing that I was trustworthy enough by vilifying something else, doesn't that technically make me the villain? If I'm attempting to distort your perception and deceive you as far as what something is or what something may not be, in regards to be able to get you to associate me with being good. I've always
said that if you want to make anything out to be the evilest thing on this planet, you might want to look at humans themselves. I mean, we've got a lot of evil stuff that's happened in history, you know. I mean,
and it's usually humans. I've never been robbed by a ghost before. I've been robbed by humans before. You know what I mean? I've never been shot by a ghost before.